The main character plays a solo player game 10 times a day, because he was an ultimate man of culture. Everyone thinks that he was disgusting, but in reality, he was just a talented man. Suddenly, his motivational material for his solo gaming was glowing. He had no idea what was going on, so he decided to continue doing his solo player game, because no kinds of calamity or disaster can stop him from doing his personal business. Then the main character was transported into another world. In addition, he was in the middle of battle against some gigantic monsters. It turns out that the main character was summoned by a priestess, and he was the hero. Suddenly, the priestess drinks his magical milk. Then the priestess became very powerful, and she was able to defeat the 3 gigantic monsters with just one attack. After that, they went to the nearby village, and they explained to the main character that there was a resurrected demon king. Therefore, they decided to summon a hero to help them defeat that demon king. Anyways, this lady was the swordsman from the kingdom. Then this lady was the priestess from that same kingdom. Also, this lady was an elf, and she was a mythical creature. They wanted him to help them, but the main character was scared of the monsters. However, he will have a journey with 3 beautiful women, so he decided to cooperate. It was now bedtime for the main character, but his party members entered his room, because they will explain his role in their party. Then they told the main character that he has a special power. According to legends, a hero's magical milk can make any woman activate their hidden potential, and become very powerful.
Huh?
It may sound stupid, but it was actually a good opportunity for the main character. After that short discussion, it was now time to summon his heroic magical milk to save the world from the Demon King. Then the 3 ladies started the special summoning ritual by cleaning his legendary sword. Eventually, the main character was successful in summoning his magical milk. The elf starts absorbing that colored white magical powers, and instantly, she can now feel an extreme surge of power flowing in her body. Then the swordswoman and the priestess have their share too. The elf felt the global warming inside her rainforest, so she decided to relieve herself by using the hero's one and only weapon. Also, the swordsman joined too, and she was making the main character's face into the most luckiest furniture. Then they reached their maximum limits, and the main character donated his creamy magical milk towards the elf woman, and she was now an elven golden fountain maker. After that, it was now the turn of the swordsman lady, and the main character did not hold back in giving his creamy magical milk behind her. Next, he uses his ultimate rod of destruction towards the priestess. They were creating some loud musical orchestra, so the innkeeper could hear that high-quality music. Anyways, the hero was living the dream, and he was enjoying a group activity with his 3 beautiful party members. After a while, he was now low battery, so he wanted to take a break. However, the priestess uses her holy magic to revitalize his fallen weapon. So, they will continue doing their group activity magical rituals, because all of these efforts were for the sake of saving the world. The next day, the 3 ladies went to the nearby forest to test their upgraded magic. Of course, they became so powerful that they even destroyed the landscape of the mountain, and the sword user was able to cut the boulder easily. Suddenly, they remembered that the hero left a note that he will be going for a walk. However, it was a lie, because the hero was actually doing a clapping exercise with the elf innkeeper, and he was kind enough to share his precious magical milk with this lady. In the next scenario, the main character was receiving his special morning service from his 3 ladies. Therefore, it was important to reward their effort. So, the main character shared his magical milk to them, and he was able to make the ladies sleep again. After that, they have a short meeting, and they told the main character that their next destination will be the royal capital. It will become a camping trip, and they will depart in 2 days, because they are waiting for another member of the party. So, they have some spare time to do some training, and doing power increasing activities. The main character have no idea on how he will spend his free time, but luckily, the priestess wanted him to join her shopping. Then they went to a bookstore to buy some magical spell books. The main character cannot read the language of this world, so he picked up a flashy-looking book. It made the priestess embarrass, because the book was actually about tips and tricks for different kinds of clapping cultural rituals. He was not interested with this kind of knowledge, because he was the legendary protagonist. Then he returned the forbidden book. However, the priestess wanted to level up her knowledge, so she purchased that educational book, and she was now reading it on a secluded alley. The knowledge was overflowing in her body. Therefore, she wanted to apply what she learned. Then they have a step-by-step clapping activity, and thanks to the professional guide from her educational book. In the next scenario, the main character found the elf in the woods. He wanted to socialize and touch some grass. The elf was just roaming around this area, because she was checking for monsters. Then she climbed the tree to get some high ground vision. The main character wanted to follow her, but he was a beta in climbing trees. She was giving him the look of disappointment, and she started looking down on him, literally. She was now the predator, and the main character was the prey. So, she attacked him by smashing his defenseless weapon. The main character cannot handle her attack, so he offered his magical milk as a peace offering. After that, the main character returned to their hotel, and found the swordswoman practicing her sword skills. Then she took a rest with the main character. However, her resting was also a form of exercise, because she was riding on the Iron Pegasus. She was an active person a while ago from her sword training exercise, so she was creating an onion-scented perfume. Because of that, the main character awakened his legendary man of culture inside him, and he started clapping using the Rod of Destruction. Then he donated his magical milk with a finishing blast. Later that night, the innkeeper shared the good news that the bathhouse feature was now unlocked. It was an important event for the ladies, because having a bathhouse was like a luxury in this fantasy world, since bathhouse uses a lot of wood resources to heat up. The main character went to that relaxing place, but his ladies wanted to save environmental resources, so the solution is using the place together at the same time. Then the elf flexed the special soap made from her hometown that can kill 99.9% of germs. The ladies were now using the soap, and they were also sharing it to the main character to give him a cleaning 360. After that complete package cleanup, they started the main event, and it was an organizational group activity. The main character was an expert of equality, so he managed to share his special magical milk fairly in each lady. It was a survival mode daily, and he was just surviving barely.
My time has come.
The next day, it was now the time of departure. However, the main road was covered by the landslide, so they stayed for another day. The main character was spending his free time with the innkeeper, and he was giving her a free magical milk face mask. After that, she let the main character cook, and he keeps on giving her his unlimited extra sauce. The next day, it was finally the time to leave for adventure. In addition, the extra party member have arrived, and she was a maid with animal ears, because her father was an animal lover. They started their journey, and their first mission was to have a meet and greet with the queen. After a while of traveling, their path was blocked with a group of monsters ahead. Then the elf volunteered to eliminate the doggies on the road, because she wanted to flex her professional elven archery. She was able to eliminate the enemies easily with one shot. However, something was bothering the elf lady. During the night, the elf told them that her attack was getting weaker. So, they realized that the main character's magical milk have a limited time effect. On the continuation of their journey, they will encounter stronger monsters. Therefore, they will have an advanced preparations, so the ladies will become ready perfectly tomorrow. The power-up activity was now going to start, but the maid was more interested in reading books. Anyways, the cultural group activity ritual was ongoing, and the main character was devouring his favorite melons. Meanwhile, the maid was not distracted, since she was a woman with focus on her goals. However, it will not last that long, because she keeps on hearing the high notes from the live opera. In addition, she can also smell the scent of happiness. Therefore, she was now experiencing a personal global warming, and it is important to fix that issue as soon as possible. So, she come up with a solution to her problem, and she was now fixing the issue by doing a solo mode manual operation. Then the maid was now a crystal clear mineral water fountain maker. Meanwhile, the group activity clapping ritual continued, and the main character was using his professional multitasking skills to accommodate a 3-in-1 situation. After that, the main character went outside to take a short break. The main character found the maid being knocked down, so he thought that she was attacked by a monster. However, she was just fighting against temptations. Of course, she lost in that battle, because her carnivorous instinct can't resist eating a nutritious meat. After that, she was now begging to get blessed by his legendary sword. The main character fulfilled her request, and she was a beginner in the clapping ritual. She was a maid for taking care of the main character's daily needs. So, she was now doing her job excellently. Then the main character paid her special service with a magical milk. After that, the main character included his maid into the group activity. Then he used blindfolds on the priestess, swordswoman, and the elf to give them a surprise attack. The main character used his rod of destruction, and he was providing his unlimited magical milk. He was not going down easily, because he was well trained in solo leveling before getting summoned in this fantasy world. After his battle, the maid cleaned his legendary sacred weapon. The main character was pleased by her service, so he let her ride on the Iron Pegasus, and the main character donated his overflowing magical milk. Then there was part 2 of this group activity event, and the ladies will revenge by putting blindfold on the cultural hero. Also, they have a guessing game, and the main character should guess the Iron Pegasus rider. The maid was doing the exercise, and the main character have no idea. Next, it was the priestess, and he guessed wrong too. He was putting his intelligence in his legendary sword, so he cannot guess properly. Therefore, the main character used his ultra instinct to make a comeback victory. Eventually, he managed to successfully guess the swordswoman. Then he also correctly guessed the elf. After that, he got a guessing game winning streak, and the main character have a winner-winner chicken dinner that night. The next day, their journey continues, and the maid notices that there was a large group of monsters ahead. The enemy was consisting with monster doggies, and 3 ogres with prehistoric weapons. However, these monsters was just a piece of cake for the hero's party. Then they started launching their attacks, and the monsters were instantly wiped out. After defeating that group of monsters, they continued their journey towards the royal capital. However, there was another obstacle in their road trip. Ahead of them was a group of large monsters, and their chances of winning against them was only 50%. So, the maid have a suggestion, and she suggested them to have a power-up ritual. The ladies will get the special magical milk, and they were very excited to get the magical health benefits. Then they went to a secluded place in the forest to do their group leveling. It was a race against time, so they were doing a speed-run magical milk sharing. Eventually, the main character was able to bestow the power of his magical milk in all of his companions. So, all the ladies got the instant power up, and they easily destroyed all the monsters. After that, their journey was not interrupted anymore, and they were finally able to reach the kingdom's capital city. That's the end of this cultural anime recap. But sadly, there was no continuation of this anime yet. Anyways, here is your magical sauce, and it is only allowed for the culturally matured people, and thank you for watching.